Hello, my name is Omar Abasad. It is March 12, 2018 at 1:48 p.m. in Toronto. So I'm going to talk a little bit about the targeting that I'm experiencing in the community and the new developments that I'm suspecting has taken place. As I mentioned in my last videos, I was dismissed from a job that was supposed to be a 12-month contract, and I was dismissed from it for not having, after being assessed for 3 weeks, not having the whatever it is that was needed to fulfill the position. And and as a result of that, I'm still in the market. Still looking for work. This happened, let's see here, March 2nd, and I'm still looking for work. So there were some afterthoughts about that in addition to, of the dismissal, in addition to what I already went through in my last videos. And it occurred to me that 3 weeks to assess somebody for a full cycle, as a full cycle accountant, and for somebody who had gone in at the end of the cycle and expected to meet deadlines from day one, learn the system and learn everything and meet the deadline and do so without making mistakes. Was this a proper assessment done? So this is not going to affect, definitely not going to affect the way I see myself and my abilities to do an accountant's job. It has absolutely no effect. But it does bother me that these assessments can be carried out and put you out of work without any notice. And the labor laws allow that to happen. The labor laws in Canada, in Ontario, does not protect the employee from these sort of dismissals, from these probationary period dismissals during the probationary period notice, without notice. Now, the employer by all means have the right to dismiss. I don't have a problem with that. However, notice should be given from day one, from day one. Um, so there were other things also going on in that workplace, as I mentioned before. And it was harassment due to the community reporting program. The Let me rephrase that, due to the community targeting program that results in community reports being made up about you. And these reports are based on everything that goes on in your private life, all your health records, everything that's being surveilled about you, everything that's being illegally surveilled about you inside your home, outside your home, and every person you come in contact with gives a feedback. So all this information is put together by the team that the community puts together, votes, because your name is on a list. So a manager volunteers to become the manager and the monitor, and that monitor puts together a team. I believe that the team was in this company as part of the community targeting program. And because my name was on a list, because I was flagged, and this includes input from the police, I'm suspecting, because this is what I'm being harassed about. The police has all this evidence. The police is going to charge you. The police have this warrant for your arrest. The police have this warrant for your mental evaluation. We're going to hand you in. We have a new ticket. We have a new warrant. We have a new hit. These are harassing comments I got in the workplace. So all this was going on in the workplace in that short 3 weeks that I was there. And I suspect that the employer actually had a contract to surveil from the police, from whoever, I'm not quite sure from who. I got the distinct impression it was working with the police because I used to be a prostitute. This was the start of the process. The assumption was that I used to be a prostitute based on information given by not quite sure who. And instead of charging you, Oma, we're going to put you in this community program where the community is going to take control of you and your life. And the community is going to manage you instead of putting you in prison. The community is going to take care of you. Really, this is a cover for trafficking. This is what happens when you're compromised in this way and your name is on the list and people chooses you. The people who choose you to be managed the people who choose you to manage you, to monitor you, are criminals, pimps, traffickers, as the ones in this building. These are traffickers because these people then turn around and contract out the surveillance that's needed to report on you, instigate situations, incite anger, put the public's life at risk in doing so, create public discord in doing so, um, make themselves nuisances in doing so, public nuisances in doing so. Like you'll have a vagrant running around you saying nasty things, presumably talking to himself, but really, these are people paid to do this by this criminal organization running this targeting program. So all this is in the workplace as well, which was why I was dismissed. There's another aspect to my dismissal that I'm suspecting, and this is from the comments I hear in this building around my unit, is that Rick Rick is looking at you, and you're supposed to show Rick because he's the new owner, and the receptionist in this workplace was talking about Rick as well. So she was pimping for Rick, and I was supposed to show Rick. So the setup in this building is your name is on the list, and the person who is monitoring you is supposed to be looking at you inside your home, knowing your body inside out, top to bottom, as one woman said in the workplace, head to toe. And this person knows every single thing about you, like a husband and a wife, or a wife would know about their partner. And this woman was talking in these terms to me. In this building, I'm saying is because it's still continuing. There is a worker who did exactly the same thing as in the workplace. And there is a court case going on that. So this is not only illegal surveillance. This is conspiracy to rape, and torture, putting your life in danger in the process. So in the process of subcontracting and contracting. So all these things were in that workplace. So looking back then to other workplaces, in the workplace before that, the exact same situation came about. So in the other workplace, the one previous to that, what happened was the person who I was reporting to, who was also the owner, would not give me the information that was needed to provide him with the information that he was asking for. He was asking for a cash position, but I did not get access to the bank online, nor was he providing me with bank statements, but he wanted a cash position. So I had no way of tracking what went through the bank. He also had he also practiced writing checks in different series. He had various series of checks, 0 to 100, 2,000 to whatever. These are different series of checks that he had at home in the office that he was writing checks on that I hadn't, as a bookkeeper, I had no clue. So when these checks went through the bank and he'd ask about it, I wouldn't know anything about it. But then he'd turn around and blame me for providing him with incorrect information, which I was telling him up front that there was not enough information to give an accurate cash balance. But this is the kind of stuff that is part of a setup to make you look inept, make you look unprofessional, make you look like you can't do your work. And the illegal surveillance was also going on in that building, and also was being contracted out to the other people in the building and clients as well in that situation. This I believe that he outsourced the remote surveillance to his clients as well. He was trafficking me. These clients were looking at me share at my desk, and as I am suspecting in this building, as is happening in this building, there is a team of people who travels with you or are using laser-based satellite laser-based technology to as part of the community control program to use remote technologies to discipline you, which is very, very feasible, very doable given today's technology. This technology, I believe, is also being used in prison. I think microwaves are being used to degrade people's thinking and to make them slow, because in prison you don't want aggressive people. Well, the same idea. Um, Now, being put on the list, who does it? Why? Well, I just went through who is doing it. Some of the people who are doing it. Why? I just also went through, and it's continuing. So, which means that if there is another 1 year lease, I heard there's a 1 year lease because I'm flagged again for groping. It's um, it's unthinkable to me to be groping people. Um, it, it, uh, you know, period. Anyone groping anyone. This is something that is that I would never ever ever do. But I'm being painted because I'm registered as a prostitute. I'm being sexualized. Per, I'm being painted as, I should say, not only sexualized, but I'm being painted as a perverted person who can't control herself sexually, which is not only untrue, but it's just the opposite of who and what I am. The way this is done, this painting of this promiscuous quote unquote person, is that the perpetrators go and dig up your history, and then they add a story to it that makes you look promiscuous. They might even talk to the people you had relationships with in the past, and because you're a target, these people make up lies about what they did and what they didn't do. If you had a relationship, a sexual relationship with them, they would lie basically and say and talk about things that never happened because it's supposed to be degraded because they're infiltrated by the people who goes to them to have this conversation, and they lie basically, and then you hear about this in public. So this is part of the degradation and humiliation program that the community puts you through to clean you out basically. I heard the phrase clean you out from a family member, from the sister-in-law. So I also had my sister-in-law. I was staying with her for a year while my unit was being sold. Oh, I tried to sell it, didn't sell. Um, and she started putting my dishes underneath the table in the kitchen. And I asked her why. She said, because the dishes are dirty. Of course, they weren't. She said, when it's all cleaned out, when dishes are all cleaned out, I'll put it back up on the counter. This is somebody who I've known since I was 16 years old, and saw her beat up her kids and abused her children, saved her children from her abuse several times, and is right now is under a lot of stress. So you know, probably needing help, mental help. So anyway, so I'm gonna cut it off there. It's going on 15 minutes. Talk to you another time.